shutting the water down on Friday for a couple streets up there to do a tie-in. So that'll be coming this Friday. And hydrant flushing continues on the southern half of the city for the next week. This week and next week, I believe. That takes care of distribution collection. Wastewater treatment plant, we continue with the new design of the wastewater plant with the mandated EPA phosphorus updates. We will also be giving another civil service test here in the near future. We'll figure out the details, that'll be advertised. So if anybody wants to be a wastewater operator, we'll be giving that test. That takes care of the wastewater plant. The water plant, probably the biggest thing we have going on there is the clarifier that we've been working on. The sandblasting is all done. It's all primed one time, so now we're removing all the grit out of the clarifier, and then they'll paint it. So that's kind of the highlights of what's happening in the utility.
How soon do you expect that to be back online and ready to go?
Should be within about a month here. So. That grit, there's 3 semi-loads of grit in it right now, so we've been up there backing on that with a sewer back truck here for the last 2 weeks. So they should hopefully have that.
Needed clean.
Yeah.
Needed, yeah. Well, it's what would be nice is we'll have a redundancy.
Yep.
A built-in redundancy, which is gonna make me sleep better at night.
So it doesn't necessarily, it won't be running at the same time, it's just still, it'll just get back up still, right?
Yeah, we'll alternate units. We'll
Okay.
say we'll figure out what it'll be. We'll run this one for 2 months and then switch to this one and kind of back and forth. So.
Okay. Kind of
That
help
would-
save the lifespan of them.
Yeah, they both been exercised.
Don't get rusted up from sitting still.
Yep.
Kind of.
Yeah, kind of work them, so that's going along good, so very good today, we get that done.
We regretfully said goodbye to our water billing office department head, to Brad Cook. He took another job, but he's done an incredible amount of work for us over there, getting much needed structure. And so we'll be looking to fill that position here very soon too.
We'll probably start interviews here towards the end of the week. So.
Is that the position you were talking about with the civil service test?
That's
or is that
another one.
a different one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the utility, I forget what the official title is.
I can't remember what it is now. He's just,
We need to get
but he's in
changed,
charge of the
but-
water billing office. He oversees the utility billing office. Yeah.
Isn't it like administrator or something?
Yeah.
Water office
It's-
administrator.
I think it's
Utility
changed.
administration, something.
It's changed.
I've seen it as like we need to bring it in line with the rest of the assistant directors. That's it.
He's got a lot of technology knowledge that's has helped us modernize, and so we've got a good basis to continue that momentum.
Yeah, we've got a lot of resumes in for it, so we're reviewing those right now. We'll be moving forward with interviews in the very near future.
Cool. Tom?
All right, I'll start with the Parks Department. First, we filled 2 of the vacancies at the Parks Department, 2 of the Public Works Technician positions. They both started on the 9th, so they started last week. One being Aaron Hairston and the other Brad Higgins. They started for us on the 9th, so we got a full group out at the Parks Department right now. There'll be a lot of, getting to know things and training. Started last week and will continue for a couple of weeks here. So it is a good time. The grass has slowed down a little bit, so they got time to spend with these guys, bringing them up to speed on how we do things. So they've been going around power washing, pavilions, cleaning them up because of some, summer activities that's been going on in them. cleaning the pavilions, the tables, and all that inside there. Along with that, we had the bathrooms in the parks painted inside and out there earlier in the year, and we come across an issue with, well, actually a couple, but one being a larger issue was the Phillips Park bathroom. We painted over it. Well, the paint peeled off pretty quick, and we had worried about it because somebody had applied what they call an anti-graffiti paint to it. For that purpose, it'll let you put other paint on top of it, or it easily comes off. But anyhow, it was a chore trying to deal with how to get that off of there, because there was a lot of spots that anti-graffiti paint had peeled off. That was the whole reason why it needed to be painted. So we tried a couple different things, from a sandblasting unit to, not really a chemical, but a paint remover type deal to remove it, the sheets that you get, I guess. And then we finally settled with power washing, and it was very time consuming, but it was a good way to, get that paint off of there. So they finally got the Phillips bathroom ready to go to paint again. So they've been working on that this past week. So we'll get it painted here real soon. We're installing, I know I brought this up in the last news conference, with the ADA picnic tables that we received from the Knox County DD. Yep, thank you. I remember telling you they raise money and give us money, or bought these picnic tables for us to put in the parks. They've installed 2 of them already at Shelmar Park. We've already had one at the Dan Emmett Pavilion there by the restrooms, but they're going to install 2 more at the Harmony Playground area. They got to remove the concrete tables first that are there. They'll be putting 2 at Riverside Park over in the pavilion, and there's 1 that will go at Hiawatha Park in that pavilion. Our plan is, once we get these installed, we will be going back, and this will be the city funding it. I want to replace the rest of the wooden picnic tables at some of these locations to that. It's an expanded metal, coated table that we're using now. We started doing that years ago, and we want to, eventually work through all of them, get all the wooden picnic tables replaced with this style. So that's coming next. We'll just be, whatever's left over, we'll be replacing those.
Can't ride on those either.
Yeah, actually it is pretty easy to wipe it off of that coating that comes on those, so. Anyhow, they started some construction for the splash pad at Riverside Park. What I mean by that, some trees had to be removed. They've done that. My group removed the drinking fountain that was next to the water fountain. They had to remove that. They got that actually finalized today, got it removed out of there. So things are starting to happen with that project. I don't know if Quentin's coming, maybe he'll have more information about the project itself later. We also got the project up at the CANC. What utility work that had to be done got done underground, and then the new apron is what I would call it at this point. Concrete apron was poured in front of, or on the north end of the depot up there. That concrete's been poured, laid, it's done. So all that's done. Now they're continually working out into the campus area or the parking lot area next. But it does get new concrete up there. And that's it for parks. Any questions about that? Move on to the cemetery and public buildings and lands. I handed you this sheet here. This is a flyer for our fall cleanup. On October 1st, we hoped to see that everybody has removed any of the spring and summer decorations from the grave sites. This is a thing we do each year in the fall, similar to the spring cleanup. Get rid of, try to get rid of most of the spring and summer decorations. during the winter time, and then we'll let them start putting their holiday, decorations on there next. So we're asking that the public gets those removed by October 1st. If not, we will remove them for them, and we will place them in our bullpen area or caged-in area for them if they want to come and pick them up. If there's something, reason why they couldn't do it by October 1st, we'll hold on to that stuff for a period of time before we dispose of it. So if they want to pick it up, they'll be able to. There's they can go to the website there for the city to get additional instructions on what decorations it is that we're talking about. We ask the public to please stay off of the newly seeded areas in the cemetery, if all possible. These are, obviously new sites that new burials were done, and the grass seed is trying to come up and grow. It's been pretty dry, we all know that, but anyhow, we just ask the public to please be considerate to those areas and stay off of them if they can. They've been doing some tree and shrub trimming around the grounds. This time of year is a good time to do that. Back to doing our last weed suppression, or spraying for weeds around the cemetery is going on right now. They've cleaned out the creek that runs beside Mountain View Cemetery there. It's a pretty long ditch, that borders that northeast side of the cemetery. They scooped it out or cleaned it out, opened it up a little more, and then they've been already doing some maintenance and cleaning of the mowers.
Is that the kind of man-made creek there that comes south by that little side road, Yoakum or something?
I don't know if it was a man-made creek or, more than
Where the water ended up going and creating its own. So.
Yeah, it's the bottom of the whole hillside of
Come
Mount
across
View.
Blizzard Road
That
then.
comes across.
Okay.
Yep. On the public buildings and land side, they're doing some plumbing work on some of the rental properties right now that needs to be done. They also had to do some work on the sprinkler system here on the square. I think they're pretty much done with that now. They got that some repairs. Maybe it's heads leaking, wasn't spraying the water correctly, but they took care of that. Look around you here in council chambers, they got these signs replaced, made up and replaced here in council chambers. Got that done. There is a air handler in the plaza building that we're getting ready to replace. It's part of our, we budget for, 3 or 4 of these a year to replace them out as they're, getting old and wearing out and not being very efficient. So that's starting here right now. Been doing a lot of work at the impound lot. They have the exterior, this is the police impound lot, located over there off of, it's right there at Greenwood Avenue, basically. They had the exterior painted, which had to be scraped, and all the old paint had to be removed. They got that done, got the exterior painted. Also, we removed a couple, they were exhaust fans back when it was the armory that are no longer needed, so they were in the break-ins of the building that used to exhaust the emissions from them having vehicles in there all the time. They hadn't been functioning for many years. We removed those, blocked up those holes so they could be painted, but all could be painted at the same time. I also did quite a bit of work to the bathroom that's in that place. It was pretty run down, so they painted it, replaced some fixtures in there, the sink, or at least the plumbing and spigot to the sink, and did some new flooring in there. So they remodeled the bathroom. Let's see here. Parking garage, they've been going around maintaining the lights, going through all the parking garage lights, replacing bulbs that are burnt out, cleaning them, ones that are full of insects or dust and dirt from them. Trying to clean the parking garage up a little bit. Other than that, just did normal stuff. They had to skim the fountain out here and we affixed some loose stones on it that were coming loose. I did some maintenance to it and checked and changed out flags as needed around, the square and in front of City Hall here. I'll read this to you. As is custom, flags are removed from Main Street after 9/11, and flags will be removed from Public Square after Veterans Day. So they'll be removing these flags. They already have removed them from Main Street. I think that's it for PBO. Yep. And then last, street department. So I handed you the other flyer here for the street department. What this is basically just some information for you to have. We're getting close to our leaf season. When I say close, we're still a whole month out. We're already starting to get calls from the public about when we're coming out with the leaf machines and picking up leaves. It won't be, I should say this first. Mother Nature dictates how early we start. Obviously, we're in a dry season. We all know that the leaves are changing. Some are actually blowing off the trees now, but we can't just rush out and start, this process. It's a very expensive service that, has to be performed each year for the public. So we want to wait and make sure we're as efficient with it as possible. We will not, more than likely, start picking up leaves until closer to the end of October. That's usually the earliest that we start. But for that to happen, we need leaf rakers. So I'm requesting that anybody that would be interested in helping us with leaf season to get either on the city web page, fill out an application for seasonation. You can you can turn them in online to our HR department, which her email address is on. Quick, income. We can employ them for at least 4 to 5 weeks during leaf season. Next, we have recently changed Hamtramck Street, West Hamtramck Street, from North Sandusky Street to North Main. It has typically been a one-way to the west, and we converted it to a two-way street that is on a trial period. You may go both directions from Sandusky Street to Main Street. Changed out all the signs, did all the proper signage to allow that to happen, and we also put up all no parking on both sides from Sandusky Street to North Main. There's no more on-street parking on West Hamtramck Street between those 2 points. That's the only way to allow this two-way traffic to happen. So that's all been done. It was effective, I think it was effective Friday, if I remember right. Last Friday it was effective. They've been rebuilding catch basins, taking care of some more stormwater work that needed done. They've been over in the west end, doing some catch basin repairs and rebuilds. We're trying to get done patching up all these digs, utility digs, whether they were, from our department for water or sewer problems, or whether they were utility digs done by sewer problems, or whether they were utility digs done by, most of them done. There are 3 larger ones that still remain out there. The largest one would be Harnwell Street. Street's pretty much been ripped up there for, I don't know if it was sanitary or if it was water, to be honest with you, but they had to do a significant repair up there this summer. The other two, one is located over on Brook Run Court, in that development there, and then the last one is on Prospect Street. All 3 of those are larger digs that we're going to look to the outside a contractor to come in and help us repair those. But all the smaller ones should have been taken care of already. So I think we're pretty much caught up with those. They've been continuing trimming alleys, and mainly based on citizen requests at this time, where people have called in with complaints of limbs hanging out in the alleys or in their view, their side view of trying to turn onto a street alley, things like that. They've been over in we call it the Cypher Edition, so the housing development just on the east side of Syker Road there, close to Beach Street. They've been over there working, and some up in that area and also up in the north end of town. Right. Over at our actual street garage location, we made a couple improvements there. We took out some green space up next to the building and put in some concrete to give us an area to set certain equipment. That's, it's one of those where you gotta take it off, like tailgates for the dump truck, set them down for a minute to do something else. And so we built a larger, apron area off the back of that building to help us with that. And then also, they put in a, bigger, larger gravel storage area, damaged. And they also installed over 100 of the red reflectors that you see now going up on the stop sign post. These are just a reflector the width of the post that is being put on the stop sign post to help, make the stop sign stand out even more. We started this project a few years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. We concentrated on all the stop signs entering into a main street, so all, off of residential streets onto a main street. And now we are going into the actual residential areas and installing these reflectors on all stop signs. That's the idea. We want to get every stop sign in town with that reflector on it. We started our last round of arm mowing also, so we'll try to hit all of our right-of-way areas with the arm mower. So everything's cut down before the fall season and winter season gets here. We just started that round. It'll probably take us at least a week to get through all the areas that the arm mower is required. I forgot to mention, I want to bring us back up about the leaf season. For those that really need to get rid of their leaves, they can bag them up, take them or load them up in their pickups, trailers, whatever, and take them out to Fair Road. If they really need to get rid of their leaves. The hours out there right now are from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I think by the end of October, they reduced the hour down to the closing down to, I think it's 5 p.m.
Full-time replacement. I'm sure that will be forthcoming from Fred Daly, the chairman for the Knox County Republican Party. But that I know that group is going to be meeting soon. So I had advertisements out for anybody to.
They have what, 45 days to.
Yeah, there's by 45 days. I believe it's 45 days. I've been back and forth between the law on this, and I can't remember the time. There is a period of time, and I think it is by 45 days. It is a must-have, a new person in office, and that is this is how the statutory form of government operates. This is what it's outlined in the General Assembly outlines in the revised code for us on how we are to replace elected officials. So, anyway, that's we're fumbling through everything as we would expect, but it's we're going to be seeing a lot of changes in that office. And so we thank Terry for his years of service, and as we all know in government, no one is indispensable. So in present company, everyone can be replaced, and so we're turning a corner. But Terry was an institution for us for a number of years. So anyway, that's going very well though. So I can't think of anything else. Do you guys have any questions for us? I can't think of any questions for us.